We have already talked about the best places to invest. Al Reem for cash flow, Saadiyat for long-term growth, and everything in between. But here's the part that most people gets wrong. They only look at the property price and think this is the whole budget, but it's not. So today, I want to walk you through the real costs, apartments versus villas, how much cash you actually need, and what pops up along the way, and the yearly charges that nobody tells you about. And that's why good investment start to look bad. The upfront closing fees. Expect 4 to 6.5% of the purchase price in closing fees. These are percentage based, so they rise with the property price, whether you're buying an apartment or a villa. The good news is Abu Dhabi fees is much more competitive than global markets. Property registration fees is at 2% for Abu Dhabi municipality. Dubai charges 4%, so Abu Dhabi saves you real money. Agency fees, the standard is 2% of the purchase price plus 5% VAT. Developer NOC fees, usually small amount between 2 to 5,000 dirhams. This fee is required for title transfer under the buyer's name. Mortgage fees in case of financing. So if you're taking a loan, budget for a 1% bank processing fees, 0.1% mortgage registration fees, and the valuation fees ranging between 2,500 to 3,500. Annual service charges. This is the biggest difference in operating expenses, calculated per square foot, and it dictates your net ROI. This is where the costs dramatically diverge between apartments and villas. Service charge covers all common areas, securities, and facilities maintenance. Apartments, since they share amenities like elevators, gyms, and centralized air conditioning, the charges are higher per square foot. So the standard is between 15 to 20 dirhams per square foot. But the good thing, these charges are paid yearly. So for example, a 1,000 square foot apartment costs 15,000 dirhams per year. On the other side, villas have less shared space. The cost is significantly lower, ranging between 4 to 6 dirhams per square foot. However, villas are much bigger. A 4,000 square foot villa costs around 20,000 dirhams per year. A critical takedown. You pay more per square foot for apartment, but the total annual fees is higher for a villa due to its sheer size. So the service charge is your net ROI killer. So always factor it in. But here is the good news. Some projects are free of service charge, like Saadiyat Lagoon's villas and Westia's villas. That's the best for investors looking for the highest ROI. Utilities and reserves, the hidden variable. Beyond the fixed service charge, there is utilities and reserves costs. But the good news, utilities are paid by the tenants. So for maintenance and reserves, apartment owner, you pay the service charge and the community manager handle most of the issues. Villa owner, you're responsible for your private pool, garden, AC units, and internal maintenance. The golden rule, regardless of the property value, you have to set aside a reserved fund of 1% of the property value per year to cover any emergency repair. This is how smart investors secure their property investment in Abu Dhabi. So to summarize, the total upfront fees are similar by percentage, but your total cash requirement is obviously higher for a villa. The annual operating costs are higher for a villa in total value, lowering the villa's net ROI. But remember the huge tax advantage. No annual property tax and no capital gains tax on residential sales. The UAE keeps your profit in your pocket. Now you know the full cost of ownership. But what if your investment unlocks a 10 years residency visa for you and your family? Next week, I'll break down the ultimate investor benefits. The UAE Golden Visa. Who qualifies and how it benefits investors. Hit subscribe and find out how your property investment gives you residency.